I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with a few items that I purchased from Target.com. This first one is a repurchase, and it's the Different Gel Adapalene Gel 0.1%. This is a product that I've used for a very long time. I got the 1.6 ounce bottle because mine is almost out, and what I like to use this with is the 2.5% benzoyl peroxide from Paula's Choice. I mix a pea-size amount of both of them, and I use them every single night before I go to bed after I use my toning products, and that's kind of a combination that I've been using for a very long time to help with acne. And adapalene is a form of vitamin A, so it also helps kind of with anti-aging. It's not as strong as some retinols can be, but it does help a little bit with anti-aging. I've been kind of contemplating trying something with a higher strength to it, but this does my skin so well, so I'm like, I don't know if I should mess around. So I did go ahead and purchase another bottle of this. I also purchased another one of the Lumiere Rich Extra Moisturizing Illuminating Eye Creams. I'm on to my backup bottle of my backup. I've always got a backup of this. I use this eye cream morning and night, and I typically use something a little thinner, a little bit serum-y underneath it, and then I put this over the top. And then during the daytime, I use the serum, a serum type product around my eyes. I've got a couple that I've been using. Then I go over it with this, and then I top it with the Josie Maran SPF 47 sunscreen in the white version, the original version. That's one of the only sunscreen products that I'm able to put around my eyes as well, which I think says a lot, the Josie Maran. So I just put some of that on my ring finger and dab it around over the top of this during the day as well. But I love this eye cream. Like, I tried to go without it before and I missed it. So now I don't want to be without it. And Derm Store, Lovely Skin, and there's another one, another skin store website. Is it Skin Store? Yeah, skinstore.com. They usually have deals on Neocutis products. I don't even think I mentioned the brand, but this is from Neocutis. And again, this is the ultra or extra moisturizing eye cream. There's a couple versions of their eye cream. This is the extra moisturizing one because I have a really dry eye area, and I just love this stuff. It comes in an airtight pump bottle. I've got one open in my bathroom, so I won't open this guy, but I love this eye cream. And then I also saw this Milani Gilded Twilight eyeshadow palette on the Target website, so I went ahead and purchased this because I quite like their eyeshadow palettes like that. I've got 4 of them already, so I got the Gilded Twilight, and then I had kept looking at the Gilded Pastel and then just not buying it, and then that collector mentality kind of kicked in, and I do like a pretty pastel anyway. And the formulation of these is quite nice as well, so I did go ahead and get the Gilded Pastel as well. I find the formulation of these shadows is really nice, especially for a drugstore brand, although they're getting up there in price. I believe these were $19.99 retail. The other ones that I have are Gilded Nude, Gilded Gold, Gilded Coast, and Luster Light. From the Milani range. So let me go ahead and swatch Gilded Twilight. The thing with these, though, there isn't a ton of product in here. There's a total of 0.32 ounces of product over a total of 15 shades. So you're looking at just over 0.02 ounces per shade, which again is small in terms of the amount of product that you're getting, but the shadows themselves are very nice. So this is the, again, Gilded Twilight palette. Good array of mattes, shimmers, kind of some satins in there as well. Really pretty palette. And I find that they just blend out and are really easy to use kind of shadows. Some of these shimmers are just so stunning too. These guys. This shade is like a black with a bunch of like red sparkles in it, and those red sparkles actually stick on the eyes when you use it, which I thought was pretty impressive. So the glitters that are in that one are very fine. And then these last 3. So that's the Milani Gilded Twilight palette. Right there. And then here is the Gilded Pastel. I've seen this one at Ulta as well. Some of the other ones, like the other 5, are like, I think, exclusive to certain retailers and stuff, but this one I have seen at Ulta. But I purchased both of these on Target.com. That shimmer, this shimmer is so pretty. The matte pastels in this one are a little bit softer than some of the other shades, but you can kind of see that they're just a little bit lighter and kind of a little bit chalkier than those shimmers, but these guys. I really like that purple shimmer. And these last three. So that is the Milani Gilded Pastel. And it's pretty pastel. Definitely not a standalone palette for me, but it's a good one for pairing. I was just looking at them all together, and they're all gilded except for one. There's just one called Luster Light. Why wasn't it Gilded Light? Because they're all gilded. And then I also got in my replacement shade from Sydney Grace that they forgot in one of my orders. They sent over 2 highlighters of the same shade instead of the 2 that I ordered. So I'll go ahead and swatch that one for you guys. They're actually very similar. So the one that they hadn't included that I ordered was Golden Wonder, which is a really pretty champagne. Like just a really pretty shiny champagne color. So that's Golden Wonder, and the one that I had gotten 2 of is the shade Velvet Gold, and they are very similar to each other, as you can see. They're very similar shades. I feel like Golden Wonder is just a little bit maybe more icy. Well, it's a little bit brighter than Velvet Gold, but they're awfully similar. And then they included with that shade Truth and Beauty eyeshadow as well. So I thought I'd go ahead and swatch that for you guys as well. They make some beautiful eyeshadows. It's just a really pretty copper metallic shade right there. So that's Truth and Beauty, also from Sydney Grace. So that was nice of them to include that shadow with the replacement highlighter for me. And then M Cosmetics came out with some lip liners, and I've been trying to get a hold of some of their shades of that, like I think it's called Dewdrop Blush. It's like a gel blush that everybody raves about, and they're always sold out. And they're coming out with 3 new shades, and that coral and lilac shade just have my name written all over them. So I'm going to try to get my hands on those. But they came out with lip liners, and when I seen the swatches online, it looked like every shade was a shade that I could get a lot of use out of. They all looked really wearable. So I went ahead and I purchased the bundle, and they came in this little bag right here, which I've got like makeup powder all over mine already because it's black. And then this is what the box packaging on the liners looks like. And then here is the packaging for the lip liner. They are a twist up pencil, and the formulation is really soft. Like they glide on the lips very, very easily, and I find that they wear really well too. Like they're not so budge proof that they're gonna leave a line on your lips with no lipstick, but they also don't just like fade right away. So I really enjoyed the formulation. It glides on so easily. So I've actually got the shade on in Teddy. The official name is the Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner. So I've got Teddy on today with I got it on with a Wayne Goss lipstick in the shade Dahlia. So here is Teddy right here, and you can just see how nice those glide on. And every shade is wearable too. Like I was kind of nervous that maybe the swatches were a bit off or something like that, because I usually don't get that lucky when I order lip products and think that they're going to be kind of lighter, more nude wearable shades, and they end up being darker usually. That's how it always works for me, it seems like. But these ones are all really wearable shades, so I'm super excited about it because I'll get use out of every one of them. This next one is the shade Kitten right here. Teddy and Kitten. And then we have got the shade Bunny, which has got a bit more pink in it. This is the shade Mink right here, a little more brown. And then the last shade is the shade Fawn right here. Let's put a little bit more out. So there is the shade Fawn, but they all have just a slightly different undertone. So there are the 5 new lip liners from M Cosmetics, and I just love the fact that they're all very wearable and I'll get use out of every single shade, and I like the formula as well. I feel like M Cosmetics is doing a really good job on a comeback with Michelle Fawn. I also ordered the new Artist Couture Caliente eyeshadow and pressed pigment palette. This is his summer launch, and this guy comes in similar packaging to his Supreme Nudes, just in a more compact, smaller style, because there are only 8 shades in this guy. There are 8 shades for a total of 0.26 ounces of product in the whole palette, which ends up being just over 0.03 ounces per shade, which is a smaller amount of product that you're getting in here. But I love the packaging. I love the packaging on his Supreme Nudes, and also this one. It's got like rounded corners, a magnetic closure. It's just very sleek and it's very nice. It feels luxurious. This palette is full of really bright kind of summer shades. There are 4 matte shades, which are Cultura, Fuego, Vibrous, and Sensual. Then you've got Mamacita, which is kind of a satin. And then Rumba, Brio, and Margarita are shimmers. And these are pretty saturated colors. They're very pretty, but this isn't the standalone palette for me. It's something that I'll pair with other shades. And the shades Fuego and Vibrous, you can definitely feel a little bit of grit in those, because that's kind of what a really pure pressed pigment type of a shadow feels like. There's a little bit of grit to them because there's so much pigment in them. So hopefully that'll come across in the swatches, but I have been getting along with the Artist Couture eyeshadows. I'm excited for that brand too. I think he's got some fun stuff. I think this is a really fun palette. So those are the first 4. Let me get a little bit more of Fuego. That one is probably the driest, most gritty one is Fuego. And then these bottom guys. But some real punchy summer shades right there from Artist Couture. It's a fun one. It's just not a standalone for how I kind of like to do my shadow, but still a really fun launch there. I didn't get any of the lipsticks. I almost did, and then I didn't. And then lastly, I got in some really exciting PR. Beautylish sent me over the new Wayne Goss Luxury Eye Collection, which since Wayne Goss has come out with his own brand, I've purchased anything and everything he's released. I have every single one of his brushes in multiples of many, which I've said a couple times before. So I'm really excited that he's coming out with makeup. He did his lipstick collection, which is beautiful. I've got one of them on my lips today in Dahlia. And now he's starting to come out with eye products, in particular eyeshadows, which I am such a sucker for an eyeshadow palette. So there is an eyeshadow palette and 3 Kohl eyeliners. Now, the Kohl pencils aren't something that I typically use. I don't use a pencil really to smudge out or use them as a base or anything like that, but I know a lot of people do, and they kind of rely on that smudgy aspect of a pencil when they use them, either to, you know, do a real smoky eye or to use them as a base. And these pencils smoke out so pretty. I had seen somebody do a video on Instagram smudging out this pencil, and it looked so smoky and pretty that I was like, you should just try to use a pencil to smoke out your upper lash line and see how it looks, because it looks so pretty in that video. So I may end up doing that. Otherwise, I know my mom really loves a smoky eye pencil. So there are 3 of them that came out, and these are called the Essential Eye Kohl pencils. So they are sharpen up pencils, and the colors of the pencils are on the bottom, which I also like. So this first one is the black, and this is in the shade Obsidian. So I'm going to swatch them and then I'm going to smudge them. So this is Obsidian. This next one is Rich Hazel. And this last one is Precious Opal. Right here. You can see how easy those glide on. And then if I take this little pencil brush here, this is actually a Goss number 5 brush. And they've been on there for a minute. There's a good amount of playtime that you have with these guys. Look at how nice those smoke out. I'll kind of wipe this off here. So you definitely have time to play with them, and if you want to use them as a base for a really solid, you know, deep smoky eye, that'll work as well. I just think that they smudge out so pretty. Like I said, so pretty that I may just use them on the upper lash line instead of a liquid eyeliner like I always wear. There are the finest bits of shimmer in this Precious Opal. They're kind of hard to see, but they are in there. And then the star of the show, and the eyeshadow palette that's actually on my eyes right now, is the Luxury Eye Palette. And this has got a name, which leads me to think that there are more coming. So it's called the Luxury Eye Palette, and this is in Imperial Topaz. And this is a very, I'll put it the way somebody had commented on my Instagram, a very safe palette for something like I normally wear. I'm very... lots of shimmer, real drama on the eyes, right? This is a very safe palette, but you can also work it up to be quite dramatic. And there are 6 shades that are 0.095 ounces per shade. There is an absolute astronomical amount of product in this eyeshadow palette, and I actually really dig it. The pans are huge. There's a ton of product. Super easy to pick up what you're looking for. I dig it. I dig how large these pans are, and there's no like wasted space or anything like that. It's all shadow when you open it up. It does have a snap closure to it, and then it's got this shiny kind of black packaging. It does have a nice weight to it as well. I do hope that when he comes out with more eyeshadow palettes, which I'm obviously hoping for, that maybe he'll switch the tint up on the black packaging so there's some type of indicator between palettes. That's what I'm hoping for. It does say on the back here that this is made in the USA. Pencils are made in the Czech Republic, according to the box on those, but the palette is made in the USA. So again, this is the palette that I have on my eyes today. I've got every shade on except for this kind of copper shimmer shade. And this is definitely a safe palette for some of the things that I'm used to wearing. But with that being said, it's something that I can feel like if I was in a rush, like just to grab a palette and throw on and know that it'll look pretty without being overdone or anything like that. This is a palette like that. And funny thing about it is when I was using this and the overall look afterwards, there was something about these shadows that reminded me of the smoky eye bricks from Victoria Beckham. Like I feel the same way about those shadows as I do these. They don't look like a whole ton of anything in the pan, but once they're on, they just look really pretty and sophisticated. So that's kind of how I feel about these shadows. There is a really pretty shimmer shade in there that when put directly over kind of a tacky base, it takes on a lot of sparkle. That's what I have on the inner portion of my eyelid today. And it is a really pretty sparkle, but it's also more subdued than something like a Pat McGrath sparkle single or something like that. There are only 2 mattes in here, which are the black and the brown. And what I did for kind of in the crease today is I dipped my brush into the brown, dabbed it a little bit into the black, and then I dabbed it back into the brown for the crease color, and then I used a smaller blend out brush in this brown to kind of buff it up higher, and then use this kind of champagne shimmer underneath the brow. Typically I like, you know, a matte brow bone, but when I'm using my Pat McGrath palettes and some others, I'm really getting into going back to a shimmer underneath the brow with a matte in the crease. That looks really pretty as well. So that's kind of how the look came out today. So let's give you some swatches so you can see what they all look like. But a real, like, I guess it's almost like an essential type of style palette, right? It's got essential shades in there with a ton of product that is going to last a very long time. And yeah, there's just something about this palette that really reminds me of the Victoria Beckham Smoky Eye Bricks. A lot. And then here's the brown and that really shimmery one. I really dig how large these pans are. I dig it. Very nice though, right? Look at how smooth, like even that, like the black. Look at how smooth they are. I'm excited. I'm like super excited. I want like this, because I'm such an eyeshadow palette junkie. This palette has really left me wanting more palettes from Wayne Goss. I'm really excited for all the things that he comes out with. I'm thinking blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. We need some of those too, Wayne. I'm just really excited for his brand as a whole. So a big thank you again to Beautylish and Wayne for sending these over. Exciting stuff. Prior to filming this video, I actually fell asleep on the floor with my cats in this room. I was just like so tired. I was like, I'm just gonna lay down here for a minute, and I actually fell asleep. So, and then on top of it, it's like, 89 degrees outside and humid, and I'm in front of these lights and I'm melting and my hair is fuzzy, and we're just gonna roll with that, okay? But lastly here, I got a PR package from the House of Sillage. Yesterday, Friday, July 31st, they launched the Wonder Woman 1984 collection. This collection actually took my breath away. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna show you the card here, and just wait till you see the packaging on this. And not only that, but the fragrance. It's a limited edition fragrance that they came out with just for the Wonder Woman 1984 collection. But this is the card that comes in there. It says it's an exclusive limited edition fragrance by the House of Sillage. When I opened it up and I first spritzed it, the first thing that came to mind, like the memory that it created for me, was it reminded me of the Neocutis Nuit et Confidences perfume, which I got in New York City in 2018, I believe. I spray this rarely because of how much it like means to me and what it brings back to me and just how good it smells. I don't know, it's like a special thing when I spray the Neocutis, and I have a backup of this perfume even though I still have over half a bottle, but that's besides the point. This Wonder Woman fragrance reminded me of that in Neocutis. So if you purchase that fragrance and really love it like I do, I think you're gonna really love this as well. So it's got a vanilla aspect to it, but it's not a super sweet, like sickening type of vanilla. It's a enticing vanilla, but this also has got a bit of fruitiness to it, and I smell a lot of like raspberry. It's like a raspberry vanilla to me, and it smells so good on. I've been spritzing it sparingly but still wanting to wear it every day because this is like a vanilla for the summertime is kind of how I think of it. Like when I think of the Neocutis, this is like a vanilla for the winter time. This is the summer version of this, for me at least, and I think it's stunning. Here is the bottle that the fragrance comes in. It is so pretty. I'm a color person. I love lots of you guys know this. I love lots of color, multitudes of color and stuff like that, and this bottle just does it for me. It is so pretty. The fact that I love the fragrance just as much as I love the bottle really says something. But see, it's got the little Wonder Woman on the cap too, with all those colors and the Swarovski crystals, and it smells so good. For me, it's definitely it's a vanilla raspberry. It opens with that vanilla that reminds me of the Neocutis, but then it kind of dries down more with a raspberry hint to it, and I get whiffs of this throughout the day, which is another thing that I like. Is the House of Sillage fragrances are really potent, and I feel like they last as well. But it's also embossed under the lid there. You can see the Wonder Woman 84. The perfume is super limited, and I'm so tempted to pick up another bottle because I love that one so much, kind of like I did the Neocutis. It's not limited, but I still have a backup of that perfume. I'm so tempted. But it gets even better. They came out with a bow tie lipstick in this collection as well. And this, it's like the bottle. It's just as stunning as the bottle. Box packaging, and then there's the lipstick in there, which is also a special lipstick that they created for the collection, so it's not part of their kind of core line. Bow tie lipsticks come in a jewelry case like that with a little pouch. It's got the Wonder Woman on the pouch, and then here is the bow tie case. And I think, because I'm such a color person and there's so many pretty colors in here, I think this is my favorite one. We're gonna go with that. It is just so beautiful, and it also has the Wonder Woman on there. And then the shade of lipstick again is a Wonder Woman shade. Like they created this shade just for this launch, and this is a dark kind of berry red shade. I don't wear reds too often, but every once in a while in the wintertime around Christmas and stuff like that, I pull one out. It's got a bit of pink in it though. It's like a pink raspberry red. Raspberry like the fragrance. And I really like their diamond powder lipsticks as well. They got a slight hint of vanilla that I just like to smell sometimes. But you can put any of the House of Sillage lipsticks inside the bow tie lipstick cases. And again, I think this is my favorite one. I really do. It's so stunning to look at. These things just give me all the feels, man. So there's the Wonder Woman diamond powder lipstick right there. And then here again is the case. It's stunning. It's so pretty. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for getting these products over in PR. Everyone is a work of art, and they're so stunning, and the fragrances too. I've only been out of the fragrances that I've gotten from House of Sillage, I've only had one Nuit Moi, I think it was, that was the only one that was just a little bit too much for me. Otherwise, I've been able to wear every single one of the House of Sillage fragrances that I've gotten. They're just such a pretty kind of intricate fragrance, and I love that this Wonder Woman one is a vanilla. And a huge thank you to House of Sillage for thinking of me and sending these products over. They're just a collector like me, like a beauty makeup enthusiast dream product is something like this. I love them. I love them so much. And that is everything for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I will see you guys later. Bye.